Good morning, everyone. I would like to introduce Judge Rebecca Foley, who will be completing your swearing in.
Good morning. If you would all stand and raise your right hand for me, please. I state your name. Having been elected to the office of McLean County Board Member District, state your district, on November 8, 2022, in the County of McLean and the State of Illinois, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the McLean County Board Member District, state your district, to the best of my ability. Congratulations.
We will now call the reorganization meeting to order. And if Member McIntyre would lead us in the invocation, please.
Please stand. Lord, as we begin this new term, help us to work together to govern with kindness, respect, civility, and insight, to reach out to others, and if we disagree, help us to understand that it is all right. Please help us to listen as well as we speak, to learn as well as we teach, to represent all of the people of our county on every occasion, to respect others and their opinions regardless of their persuasions, and to take the time to honor and remember those who have passed on before us this year, especially Bob Clark, Elise Hill, and Denise Cesario. I pray that all of you and all of our county employees have a safe and wonderful holiday season. Amen.
And now our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now the roll call. Adam Reeves. And you will say present or absent. Okay. Jim Rogal.
Present.
Natalie Roseman Mendoza.
Present.
Susan Schaefer.
Here.
James Solner.
Here.
Jeff Tompkins.
Here.
George Wendt. Is absent. Crystal Abel.
Present.
Jack Abraham.
Present.
Corey Byrne.
Present.
Jean Biles.
Present.
Beverly Bell.
Present.
Lindsay Bloomfield.
Present.
Leah Klein.
Present.
Chuck Erickson.
Here.
William John Friedrich.
Present.
Elizabeth Johnston.
Here.
Val Lehman.
Present.
Catherine Metzger.
Present.
John McIntyre.
Here.
19 present, 1 absent. Are there any appearances by members of the public or county employees?
We have had no request to speak.
Thank you. We will now have the election of a temporary chairman of the county board. Are there any nominations? Member Metzger?
Yes, I move to, or I nominate Susan Schaefer as the temporary chair for the county board.
Is there a second? Ms. Bloomfield seconds. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, say no. Thank you, Member Schaefer. If you'll join us, please, as temporary chair. We will be with you in just a moment as we discuss something.
We're going to take probably a 10-minute recess for Mr. Went to arrive.
Our seats.
Okay, we need to be back from recess and acknowledge that Mr. Wendt has joined us. In accordance with Section 2-1003 of the county's code, the county board in the first meeting following the month in which the county board members are elected shall choose one of its members as chairman for a term of 2 years. As temporary chairman, I will entertain nominations for the position of McLean County Board Chairman. Member Friedrich.
I nominate John McIntyre as McLean County Chairman.
Is there a second? Member Erickson.
I will second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Are there any objections to closing the nominations?
I make a motion that we close the nomination.
Sorry, I did that wrong.
That's all right.
Are there any objections to closing the nominations? Without objections, nominations are closed. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll? It's not a motion. It's not a motion. And the chair, the temporary chair will vote.
And an aye is for Chairman McIntyre. Adam Reeves. Adam Reeves.
Yes. Aye.
That's okay. Jim Rogal.
Aye.
Natalie Roseman Mendoza.
Aye.
Susan Schaefer.
Aye.
James Soldner.
Yes.
Jeff Tompkins. George Wendt. Crystal Abel.
Aye.
Jack Abraham.
Aye.
Corey Byrne.
Aye.
Jean Biles.
Aye.
Beverly Bell.
Aye.
Lindsay Bloomfield. Did she leave? Absent. Leah Klein.
Aye.
Chuck Erickson.
Aye.
William John Friedrich.
Aye.
Elizabeth Johnston.
Aye.
Val Lehman.
Aye.
Catherine Metzger.
Aye.
John McIntyre. Okay, so
We have 19 members and no. And Chairman McIntyre, welcome back to your chair.
Item 8 on our agenda is nomination and election of the vice chairman. In accordance with statute, the county board in the first meeting following the month in which county board members are elected shall choose one of its members as vice chairman for a term of 2 years. As chairman, I will entertain nominations for the position of McLean County Board Vice Chairman at this time. Member Lehman,
I'd like to nominate Member Elizabeth Johnston for Vice Chair, please.
is there a second? second by Member Byrne. Any other comments? Without objection, we'll have the nominations closed. Is there any objection? Hearing none, then we'll take a roll call vote.
Adam Reeves.
Aye.
Jim Rogal.
Aye.
Natalie Roseman Mendoza.
Aye.
Susan Schaefer.
Aye.
Did you say yes or no?
She said aye.
James Holner.
Yes.
Jeff Tompkins. George Wendt. Crystal Abel.
Aye.
Jack Abraham.
Aye.
Corey Byrne.
Aye.
Jean Biles.
Aye.
Beverly Bell.
Aye.
Lindsay Bloomfield. Absent. Leah Klein.
Aye.
Chuck Erickson.
Aye.
William John Friedrich.
Aye.
Elizabeth Johnston.
Aye.
Val Lehman.
Aye.
Catherine Metzger.
Aye.
I'm sorry, did you say you would vote? John McIntyre.
Aye.
Got it. So 19.
We have 19 yes votes, 1 absent, and the motion passes. Congratulations, Mrs. Thompson. Johnston? Not Thompson. You get to work with me now. So thank you all the way. Let's go on to item 9, drawing of lots for board member terms of the office. How are we going to do this? Ms. Morlock will come up with her 4th of July cap, I guess, and one member from each district will draw at this time. And we'll start with District 1. Who is that going to be? Please come up, District 1. Huh? Well, just draw, I guess. Just go ahead and draw, and you can, now some of you have, I guess, according to the ordinance, can make an agreement. So we're going to go ahead and draw anyway, and you can make an agreement if you need to switch. Okay? We have already agreed that we'll take 4, he will take 2. All right, thank you. District 2? Okay. All right. Friedrich 4. 2. District 3. You got that?
Did you want to announce that in case nobody heard it?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, so we might
Let's
say-
go through.
Oh, okay, and do it at
Who
the
is
end.
District 1?
District 1 is Catherine and Adam. She's the 4-year.
Yes, okay.
Here's District 2, you can't read my writing.
Went drew a 2.
And here's District 3.
2. Bloomfield 4.
Went to
I don't know if they're trading. Well, so far we have District 1, Metzger 4, Reeves 2, District 2, Friedrich 4, Zollner 2, District 3, Went 2, Bloomfield 4. We'll go on from there, District 4. Abel 4, Rogal 2, District 5. Ms. Johnston. Johnston 2. Johnston 2, McIntyre 4, District 6. Member Bell, 4. Member Abraham, 2. District 7.
What was that?
Tompkins,
4. District 8. Okay. Member Biles, 2. Member Klein, 4. District 9. Member Schaefer, 2. Member Mendoza, Rosamond Mendoza, I'll get it right, is 4. District 10. Member Erickson, 2. Member Byrne, 4. Okay. We will move on. Items for action, number 10 on your agenda. We're going to distribute a resolution to approve the rules we pass at this time. Annually, we pass all the rules, and this time we're adding a resolution and a couple of amendments to go with them. Member Morlock will pass them out. And we have a chance to take a look at them for a minute. I think probably some of the only changes from the current existing rules are highlighted and marked out. You'll see them. There are very few changes. Basically, the change, for those of you who are new, is for the number of committees. Okay, give you a little more time. Does anybody need any more time? We all understand what we're doing there with the resolution and the rules. We will have a rules committee. We will be meeting, obviously, taking a look at things on a periodic basis during the term to come before you with any changes, additions, or whatever. Okay. At this time, is there a motion to approve the rules as presented in front of you? Member Johnson, second by Member Friedrich. Any comments, questions, or additions? Member Solner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I guess I'd like a little explanation. I know there was some discussion about bringing land use and development back. We've done without it now for a year. Seems like it's went fairly well. I know in the past years when we've had land use and development, there were a number of times when there was no action, so we didn't hold committee meetings. And to me, it just appears that this is just, all this is really going to do is cause more work for our staff, for our administration. And if it's just a matter of we want even number of committees, how about if we come up with, instead of land use, how about an HR committee or an IT committee or even a budget committee, something that seems to be a little more active than land use. I know land use is important, but it seemed like it was working pretty well tied into the transportation committee. So it just appears to me like this is going to end up costing the citizens of the county more money. It costs more money to have more meetings. I know before, I believe Health Committee, which now is in the former land use spot, was 5 o'clock in the evening, which means people are going to have to work later at night. So again, to me, anybody that supports this, feels like it's okay to, in my mind, waste taxpayer money. So I'm going to oppose it.
I'll respond to that. I'm not sure I understand about the wasting of taxpayer money, but I've consulted with, as has Member Johnson, with administration. The meetings can be back to back. They're almost the same amount of time required as in the past. It's not going to require much for administrative staff who is here anyway. We have looked at it both ways. We feel that there is a definite pertinent reason to concentrate on land use separately as we've gone through solar and wind farms and other issues, and in dealing with the zoning board, we think that it's important to go back to that. I know some people disagree, and some on our board do agree with that. Go back a little further, when we're talking about creating cost. For over 20 years, we didn't have a health committee. After we wrote the plan for the Mental Health Action Plan, it was thought that it was needed to have a separate health committee. Before, for those of you who have been here with us, that was also done by finance. This kind of helps to keep things moving along by concentrating on these different issues and these different times as we go through our committee meetings. So that's my response to your question on it. I don't believe it's going to cost us any more money. Yes, I will say that there are some reasons why, because we do have a 10-10 board, and we're trying to make things so that people on both sides can have equal input on what we're doing. And so this is one way for us to do it. Anybody else? Member Erickson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Several years ago, I had proposed a text amendment to our ordinances that allowed the Land Use Committee to propose ordinance text amendments. In paragraph F3, it says, in cooperation with the Director of Building and Zoning. Well, I just want to say that when we pass that text amendment, yes, if you can work with the Director of Building and Zoning, you should, but if the Director of Building and Zoning is not in approval of the proposed text amendment, that's irrelevant, okay? The Land Use Committee can still propose an ordinance regardless of whether the Director of Building and Zoning approves it or not, okay? And I want that to be understood because that was the intent of the text amendment several years ago. And I believe that is in the ordinances, okay? I think that's the way the ordinance is worded, but it's not here in the rules, but I think that should be understood, so.
Thank you for pointing that out, and I do agree with that. We do have that ability. Thank you. Anyone else? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. And opposed? No. One no record. Any others? And the motion has passed. We'll go on to item B, request for approval of a resolution approving the chairman's appointments to the standing committees, subcommittees, and the Liquor Commission. And those are to be distributed now, and we'll give you time to look at those.
Motion? Is there a motion to get on the floor at this time to accept the committee structure? Motion by Member Klein. Is there a second? Second by Member Erickson. Are there comments or questions? Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. And opposed? No. And we have one no vote. Motion has carried. Some announcements. We'll be adjourning to our full board meeting on December 15th, but we also have committees starting tomorrow morning, right? And they are, if you'd like to announce them. So everybody will get tuned in and know where to go.
With the approval of the new board rules, we will have our Transportation Committee meeting starting at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. On Tuesday, we also have our Justice Committee meeting at 4:30 tomorrow afternoon. And on Wednesday, we have our Finance meeting convening at 4:30. If you have any questions regarding the committees or the times for those, please see administration or your committee chairman.
Okay, thank you. Before we adjourn, I'd like to just say a few words. Not unlike what happened during the redistricting process, again, the McLean County Board is being challenged to be a leader in the state of Illinois by tackling an almost impossible political situation with fairness, by doing and asking all of our members to objectively participate to make decisions and provide leadership for all of our residents within the county, all of our residents within the county. Although as we begin with a 10-10 political party representation, we must remind ourselves that we are people first who represent all the people of the county from both parties, both political parties. The question is, will we be good enough people to meet, debate, and vote with civility? Civility, I think, is a very important issue. To debate and meet without personal prejudice, without political prejudice, without social prejudice, with civility and understanding. Without running to social media, which has a place, but it's not to criticize and cause harm to other people on the web who cannot defend themselves. Some of us will need to lead by promoting learning for the less experienced on our board, to be able to acquire working knowledge without criticism, to educate and lead each committee, and to explain, in some cases, without criticism. Speaking for myself, I, for one, will refuse to personally dislike another member of this board due to their thoughts, positions, or votes. We're all here and motivated to be here to fulfill a positive, not negative process for the residents of this county, to serve. Now we are all going to be tested, as we know, just how good of representatives that we can be. So let's get started and let's do a good job. And this meeting's adjourned. Thank you all. Congratulations. We have a picture to be taken, so please hang around so we get in a group picture. Thanks. This meeting is adjourned.